Okay, so thank you, Souvik. I know I'm between you and the lunch that is waiting for all of us. So we'll have to be really quick. So let me just get straight to inviting the panelists. Dr. Ramachandra V. Pujeri, Director of MIT College of Engineering, please be on stage. Yeah, he's the Dean Student Affairs and Strategic Planning and also the Director for International Relations and Industry Collaborations. Right profile to be on the panel discussion today, so thank you so much. Dr. P.P. Mane, Principal AISSMS Institute of Information Technology. If I can request you to be on stage, please. Thank you so much. Shri Vijay, Tandon, Dean Management, Universal AI University. Please come on stage, please. Yes, thank you so much. Dr. Prabha, Shankar, Director of Corporate Relations, ASM Group of Institutes. Yes, ma'am, please. And then we have the industry representation as well by Mr. Abhijeet Anand, Head Strategic Initiatives, Unstop. So we have a full quorum. So let's begin. So while we have had a lot of food for thought, there is also the food waiting for us. So let's be innovative in our approach, and I'm certain you all agree to the fact that less is more. I just picked it up from Vijay. Yes. So to begin with, there have been good discussions that have happened on how education can be more accessible, more available, more adaptable, for which we need to be looking at building the capacities, building capabilities and competencies, right, for which we need to look at probably being more engaging, enabling and empowering the entire ecosystem, right? So this is the ACE that we are talking about. And then we come to innovation and research and development. So if I may start with the lady on the panel, Dr. Prabha Shankar. What is your take when you look at it from a group of institutions? Do you think PhD can be a little more streamlined and can be more aligned towards the industry needs and the trends, which will bring about better innovation and better research and development?
Sure. Good afternoon, all of you. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, I think so.
So, and as been told to all of us that we'll be very smart and short and complete the session.
Short and sweet. Yes.
So I would like to just quickly put 3-4 points. Beginning with, first of all, research you talked about. So R&D exactly. When we say research, if we really see the quality of researchers in India, which are available for both national and international research, the quality of number of researchers is very high. However, our contribution to the research, global research, is much less. So how do we increase the vision of being more research oriented? So I'd like to first quickly define research. So research is directly tied to innovation because it helps industry in terms of getting ahead of competition. And so what is innovation? Innovation, on the other hand, probably it builds on the research which is done, the R&D which is done, which may be done by a PhD student or a set of students who are going to be interns in any organization. So this research, when it takes the commercialization, probably that gets into an innovation which is helpful to the industry to become more competitive. So having said that, and the fact that we have good quality of researchers in India, because that is something probably in our genes, I would think that as far as the question in Maharashtra is concerned, or all over India is concerned, I would not like to differentiate that. Probably it is the process which has to happen all over India. That a few suggestions, as you said, which we can see. is that the industry spend on R&D has been made compulsorily high. But when I'm talking about industry spend, it is mainly the large industries. They have all set aside that 4%, 5%, there are limits that they should spend. Now, where can we improve? So maybe I feel that the government subsidies, the government probably representative is not here, but maybe he'll listen to us over some time. So maybe, I feel that the industry spend on R&D though is happening by large industries, but maybe government can increase its incentives for doing research in the field of engineering and science as far as the disciplines are concerned, and on the other side, as far as industry is concerned, on the SME sector. SME sector has been not probably either having time or energy or resources because they have to solve a lot of their problems, and now technology is also another thing they have to catch up with. And when I say SMEs, there are a lot of them in the manufacturing sector who need help. They probably do not even have somebody to upgrade the IT. So SME sector, if there are some incentives which can be provided to get them into more research orientation, spend some more amount on the research, whatever product or services that they are doing. However, I would say that when I'm saying SMEs, maybe they are non-IT SMEs. There are lots of them. And in India today, manufacturing sector SMEs are almost 40% or more. And the exporting also is happening more. Again, I'm talking not about the IT and services, non-IT services sector of SMEs. They need a lot of incentives. Now, how does higher education come into picture? This is something which I would like to, add on. One of the previous sessions, somebody mentioned that internship probably is not necessary. I don't agree because experiential learning is something which is very important. And many of us in the education sector have been trying to make sure. And when we talk about second, third, and fourth tier of institutes, the students who come there are from backgrounds who have never seen an industry. I mean, anybody in their probably family itself. So for them, it is a huge, plus point if they get an opportunity to be in the industry. So as an intern, when they go there, and if they have been equipped with, in their education, which they will be with education transformation, technology and systems, they can help the SMEs, or they can even help the SMEs identify the problem areas. So this is something the internships can happen, and there can be a crossover from the industry to the education, and education to the industry of how to solve many of the problems. At this point, I'll just stop and tell you, I have been in industry for 30 years, and I've got into academics only for the last decade. And so I have seen both the sides, and I feel there is a need for them to touch each other by whichever form they can. And students could be, the higher education students could be the source to start with. I mean, there are so many things to be said about faculty to be, upgraded, etc. Yeah, those are there. But for innovation and R&D, I think this could be the first thing, because youngsters are very tech savvy. They are very tech savvy, and it's easier for them to transform the SMEs to take on to the technology and systems much more happily and easily than many of the SMEs have today. So that is one thing which we can talk about, and especially today when technology is moving so fast. Industry 4.0 has come, but by the time it came to most of the industries in India, that took maybe 2-3 years lag, and now with ChatGPT having come. So how do these industries, SMEs, take care of that? So my point in this whole thing is research and development. The students from higher education can be the ambassadors, brand ambassadors, to take it to the SME sector, especially in India. That is the one which is like the large industries are doing good. So this is an interface which is possible. And as we said, many of the institutes, the directors themselves probably have not been from the industry. So networking at these kind of platforms can help them to reach the industry. And industry academia association can bring in this R&D which can happen and make it an innovation in the industry. So that's my point. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Prabha, Shankar. takeaway that is something which is important to know is the academia, industry, and government interface, which will bring about some incentivization for both to come together. And while we talk about incentivization, probably it should be looked at from the SME sector, which is that employment churn, employment generation engine in India, which has been touched upon by other speakers as well. So thank you so much. With those thoughts, probably let's go in the order that we have started from there. If I may ask this question to Vijay, Anand ji, what do you think will be the role of the Center of Excellences going forward, right? With the National Education Policy getting to implement very soon, there are these bifurcations of these universities, right? The research universities, the teaching universities, and then the group of colleges coming together. So the Center of Excellence that gets created, how will that help in the pursuit for research and development and innovation? Your thoughts?
Very good afternoon, and I take it as a privilege to be on such esteemed panel members. It's the right time because very recently we have transitioned from a business school to a university. I'm proud to share we are the first AI university in India.
Oh, wow.
So with that very little experience, right, I think I've come more of as a learner than as a speaker out here. So I'll be a great listener. But to address your question, definitely, Center of Excellence is a must. In fact, I cannot think about higher education without innovation. That's in fact very difficult for me to digest, right? So that is how I think in this new economy, every institution, whichever space they are into, whether into management or engineering, will have to think about these incubations, will have to think about Center of Excellence. So especially the focus of the learners is on very specific research skill sets, then I think that is where Center of Excellence would make a difference. And if it's more to do with building entrepreneurial capabilities, the entrepreneurial mindset, that's where incubation would actually play a very important role. But I think it cannot be possible in isolation. That's where collaboration of academia and industry would play a vital role, and that's how mentorship would be very important. So active involvement of industry is a must when we talk about incubation or when we talk about Center of Excellence. I think both need to have a clear objective. Otherwise, without that, it does not serve the purpose.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. That was short and sweet, and very apt as well. First of all, congratulations for you being the first AI university, right? So look forward to a lot of innovations coming out from there, and we would love to participate as well as a education ecosystem. So the takeaway here would be in terms of building up new skills, upskilling, reskilling, and aligning with the new age skills that would be needed. And AI is actually transforming, and we are still just scratching the surface as to what it can bring to. Right. So thank you so much for your thoughts. Sir, next, if I may request you to probably just continue on the discussion in terms of how this industry academia involvement with the industry relevant mentorship coming in and building up the incubation ecosystem together would actually help in innovation and R&D.
One important thing which I just want to begin with is that whatever things we are going to talk, the focal point will be always the teacher.
Yes.
And one thing what I have observed in my career as the principal is that, and maybe since more than 25 years I'm in this teaching field, but most of the teachers, let's say, very few teachers are genuinely doing some good work. The first thing is that most of the teachers do know what is their duty and responsibility. Because I just talk about teachers who are under the AICTE, the professional partners. The AICTE has clearly mentioned that what are the duties, roles and responsibilities. So it says that the first primary thing is that you have to do the teaching learning. Then you have to be part of the administrative process. You have to be doing the research and development. And also you have to contribute in the extension activities. And then we have the three cadres. What we have is the lower level is the assistant professor, structure, then we have the associate and the professor. And what is expected of all this associate and professor is that as they move up the cadre, their teaching load becomes less. And what is expected is that these teachers, the associate and the professor, should be doing more of research. Now then coming to the thing is that when we talk about the innovations which are going to take place, then the incubation centers which are going to be aligned with all the innovations which are going to do. But for these things to happen, the important thing is that the teachers them should undergo this process. And most of the teachers, I can say most of the teachers, they are unaware about all these things. And if we want to do this thing, then it is mandatory. I am making use of the word mandatory, that all the teachers should be made to undergo trainings in the industry. Because today we are talking that the students should do internships in the industry because it gives them a broader exposure as to what is the need of the industry, how they should work. But the other way around, most of our teachers who have been recruited did not have the industry background. This is a fact. And unless and until all the teachers are aware as to what is expected out of them, and then they can rather see to it that they are imparting the knowledge which is gained by them to the students. So I firmly believe that the first and foremost thing is that teachers should do the industry orientation, which in our case we have in our institute we have what is called as the ICANN program, and we have made it mandatory that our teachers should at least be connected with one industry, and he should also take a training during the vacation, because for us the vacation is a very what you can say topic which everybody loves, because we enjoy lot many things during the vacation. But I personally feel is that yes, they should also spend some time in updating themselves, and this is the initiative which we have taken. So I believe that yes, in order that if you want to develop the research ecosystem, first of all the teachers should understand what it is. And then there are not many other things which can be added, because if you want to develop an ecosystem, then right from the undergraduation, I'll come to the NEP 2020, which speaks about the how the research ecosystem can be built, because now they have started talking about how the critical thinking of the students can be improved. So for this, many of the autonomous colleges, I will say, they have started with the project-based or problem-based learning. Even if you see, I just recently came across the CBSE syllabus, and for the CBSE syllabus in the 6th standard, they have put a course or a subject on design thinking, which even most of the engineering colleges are not doing so. But it's a very good initiative, because it has happened because the policy has started talking about it. Because what we do is, unless and until somebody tells us, some regulator tells us, not actually go into it. Then there are many, very few who are proactively doing it. Because we feel that today only the IITs are doing it. Yes, they are surely doing, but there are also some institutes who are following them. And we always keep on saying that, do we really do some great work? Because when our Indians go abroad, they are giving the outcomes. But when we are over here, we are not delivering what is required. So I feel that yes, surely if we, as teachers, I am again saying that as teachers, if we are going to understand what it means, then surely the things which we feel will surely happen.
Oh wow, okay. So you touched on the teaching learning aspect of it with a major focus on the role of the teacher, the responsibilities of the teachers, I'd say educators in general, right? So the industry orientation is a good point that we can all take away from. And we have a living example of Prabha coming from the industry 30 years and then 10 years into academics. So I'm sure the transition actually happens. But how smooth or how difficult is a matter of another discussion, probably offline. But yes, that is very much essential. So thank you for that. And some of your thoughts on project-based learning and with the national education policy again coming back. While you said design thinking in class 6th, artificial intelligence in class 8th is already part of it. And coding is like how we introduced in 4th grade. Right? So what is it that we do in engineering then? Right? So we need to have that thought process. Yeah, very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Dr. Mani. Let's move on to Dr. Ramachandra. So your thoughts on how all of this can actually come together, you see. Because we are talking about a complete disruption of the ecosystem and the players and the actors. So it's quite a heavy lift. It's like we are burning the ocean. You being in this segment for a long time, I'm sure you would have your insights on this, please.
Thank you so much. As you said, with university almost 28 years, I'm with the engineering. See, the topic which you have chosen is very interesting. Like, we at RBSS and Professor Vijay was saying, we have a variety of universities under the Maharashtra state. Yes, of course, at the central level, if you look into the census of university, we have about 1,115 institutions who are the university today, comes from central, state, government, dean, and so on. We have almost 50 plus thousand. We have the higher education institution in the country. We also have about 12,000 and odd standalone, the colleges. Of course, we are the largest. Again, Maharashtra is having around 68 to 72 universities which come from private. And major part in this is that Maharashtra has, almost 800 plus research institutions are already available. Government of India has started with the skill ministry, you know very well about that. Skill development, there is a ministry already, and from there they started Innovation Council, which is one of the milestone for this, talking about innovation and R&D. Every institution, if you take higher education, they have an Innovation Council today by the student and by the faculty. I am proud to tell you that MIT Art Design Technology University has ranked among this under the 50 university across the country for AI ranking. We are the 5-star of that in that, because we have Atul Incubation Center and we have, our own Kriya system, our own this. Major part I would like to tell you just what we have adopted to ensure from higher education system how we can ensure R&D and the innovation. We can say clubbing together all this disruptive technology. We started at our education system saying that you can say project-based learning, which is supposed to be from second year onwards. It is a compulsory part for the curriculum, and student at the level of second year what they are supposed to do, and at the level of third year what they are supposed to do, and at the final year what they are supposed to do. So we have framed such a way that, because see, earlier system was different. It was teacher-centric system. Today it is student-centric system. That's what we call it as a outcome-based education system, where we are talking about many things learning by doing. So having said that, when students undergo, when you talk about, we are very rightly said just now, there is 4 standard. This what you call the design thinking, and then artificial design, coding. I come from background of computer science and engineering. I always tell, then why we have to have the course so-called computer science and engineering? The background of mechanical engineering student having said, if you go undergo with a Python program of 6 months, surely you become a coder and surely you become another good engineer. But what is the difference in this? Why we have to teach the programming? Programming has to be learned by themselves, that they can become. So here talking about, when we talk about any of these kind of what you call the project-based learning part, then we suddenly comes to the saying that a small project, there will be a front end, there will be a back end, there will be a business, so on. Only this much? Oh, why we have to go? So having seen this kind of disruptive technology making the changes, we have to ensure a small part, a small component of research here. And if that research gives the value and some thoughts, then it will become a product, and that product is an innovation of that particular outcome. So, if you look into the Maharashtra state, all the institutions, they are involved in this particular, the activity. If you look into their project expo, I was so happy whenever I attended any of the project expo by either our Pune University or any of the school as you can say the judges or whatever. So I feel very happy. A boy who is just 21 years old, he was able to say this, he was able to do. My own student, I can proud to tell you that, who was doing the drone manufacturing, he has been given a startup by the government of India around 50 lakh rupees for him. And that is the idea. Maybe I may not be good in that, but student in that way. So the technology, how much faster we have to ensure a small tip of that we talk to the student. They know more than us. They are very smarter, but they are not intelligent. That intelligence should be given by, as sir says, we come from mostly the academic background. We may not be knowing what is happening at the industry. We might have the training from the industry. We must include that. We must have the collaboration. We must have the cooperative. In this way, we can establish surely what we can do, and that ensure the higher education institution surely give the good step to the R&D, and then it will goes to the the innovation idea. We have a very standard, and you can see the milestone. I can just remember two people. Dr. Padma Vibhushan awardee, Dr. Shankar sir, comes from the same the land of Maharashtra, and the Param computer, who is the supercomputer, when then the Prime Minister of India, who was the the Rajiv Gandhi, thought of supercomputer. He wanted to buy the supercomputer from America, but our own doctor, Vijay sir, had challenged him and brought Param computer. See, this is the land which has given lot of idea, lot of innovation, lot of the developments. What is happening in India? Okay, so this is really relevant. And we are going to be in the topmost in the whole country. We are contributing in that way. And if you look into, I'm proud to tell you all that wherever I go, whichever country, I'm able to see some students from Maharashtra. Yes, sir, we are doing this. Yes, sir, we are doing that. So, having said, this is very interesting thought, and we can surely ensure with all the institutions, it's not only engineering and science and technology, but also some students. I can tell you that one of our BBA students, I was just challenging myself, how can she got that so much package? 58 lakh rupees for annual package, the girl who is just BBA. I mean, she's they have the innovation, right? So, this is where we can able to contribute, and I thank you so much. Before I conclude that, driving in America is, right side, and driving in London is left side, and driving in India by our own driver is suicide. So, we should not go into that. We should make sure our driver also should be that. That's what I'm saying. We have to become a driver of Einstein. Then it is really we are able to fulfill the dream of Maharashtra at the country level. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. You actually brought all your years of experience into a capsule. Thank you so much. And what we started with Madam saying that there needs to be an incentive. I think innovation has an incentive with an example that you just mentioned about. But yes, of course, the innovation is driven by imagination, and the imagination needs that incubation, which will lead to the incentivization and going forward. So, thank you so much for your thoughts. Now, to Abhijeet, Anand, you are into the thick and thin of all that's happening, right? With 5.6 million students on your platform. Where do you think is the innovation coming from? Because of India being such a large country, let's break it down into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 kind of this one, which we also saw. Right? So where do you think this much of innovation is coming from? Whether it's tier 1 or tier 2 or maybe even down further? Your thoughts on that?
So good afternoon, everyone. So really pleased to be a part of this good session. And I won't take long. I understand all of us are waiting for the lunch to really start. So I'll keep it very crisp. So if you look at Unstop today, so we have hired for 800 plus brands today. And when we talk into, when we get to specifics of imagination as such, so we have clients like Tata who came to us and they said that, we want to conduct a Tata Imagination Challenge, and they wanted to restrict it to only tier 1 colleges in India. And we told them, why not keep it open to, every nook and corner of the country. And you'd be amazed to know that out of top 10 leaderboard, the people who reached there, 7 out of 10 were from a tier 2, tier 3 and beyond cities. In fact, I come from, a small city in Bihar, which is Pune. And when I go back there, there are 2 challenges that basically I see. So one is the scale at which we can sort of use a technology platform and take it to almost everybody in India. Right? So, my CEO in the morning was talking about that more than 1 crore people to get into higher education every single year. And if you look at all the technology platforms coming together as well, we have not been able to service to the largest of the masses. It is only the tip of the iceberg that is on any other platform that you see in India today. And how do we go to every nook and corner is something that we together have to figure out. I'm pretty sure that not one startup can do it. A lot of other industry leaders and academias have to come together to see how do we give that space to everybody to come together for imagination. In fact, talking about other such imagination challenges, L'Oreal conducted a sustainability challenge on our platform, and more than 8 people out of 10 came from tier 2, tier 3 cities whose idea were selected at the top. Right? So there are so many stories, so on and so forth. In fact, in Flipkart today, because when you conduct these imagination challenges as well, the end of the spectrum is you pick up students and hire in your organization, right? Flipkart, when they came to us, more than 2/3 people, the students that got hired, were from tier 2 and tier 3 cities of India. So that's where the powerhouse of imagination really lies. I think the second challenge that basically I see today is about the mindset itself. So today, if you look at the budgets that is allocated for research in India, is about 0.8%. That's the budget. You look at countries like Israel, which is considered to be one of the strongest tech minds. It is more than close to 4 to 6% is what the budgets allocated in Israel. So I think the mindset itself from the top, where the government agencies put up a plan, build up center of excellence, supported by academias at large, and then look into experiential learning. So today NEP, the talk of NEP is more famous than Mrs. Paul in Pune today. And when I was going through NEP, I could see that more than 75 times it was quoted about technology platform bringing things to scale. And that's where, I really feel, a lot of joy, because today we are working with a lot of CSR bodies, a lot of, prominent organizations where we are trying to see if we can create center of excellence. Because largely what we feel today, if you look at the education system in India, it is always going to be a sort of a blend of online and offline. There always has to be a very high-touch model in learning, because that is how we have been brought up. And that's where the impact also lies. So how do you combine both of them together is something we are trying to solve. And at the end of it, we really take pride in saying that we go to a tier 10 city in India today, and where the per capita income is less than 1 lakh, and we try to see if we can provide a job to that individual, so that we not only create an impact for the individual who gets the job, but the entire family around that individual. And that is what we really want to scale, working with academias, trying to create some of these series together and get the technology, the underlying platform to scale and build something.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. So India is a land of innovation, and we need to really explore, go deep. So with that, I think we come to an end to this panel discussion. Thank you so much for all your insightful thoughts and sharing your experience and expertise. It is really enlightening. It's all about how we can collaborate and how we can work together as educators for building the bright future for our next generation. And with the policy, the platform, the process, and people all put together, I don't see any doubts on that. So with that, I would like to thank all of you for your participation and the audience for the patience. I have an announcement here that we will break for lunch soon after this. But before that, I would request all of you to register yourself at the booth, the silent booth, because there's a lucky draw for the folks who have registered. And once you're back after lunch, lucky winner will be announced. So please participate, enjoy your lunch, and then be back. But before that, let's have a round of applause to all panelists. Yes, I know you're all actually. So a round of appreciations from our side as well. Thank you for your patience. We have a group photo. I was in a hurry to go for